All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rachah HaKudash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rachah HaKudash, Barakatam. It's the brother Kazak coming back at it again with another lesson. All right, and this is going to be another, back to the basics. All right, the title of this lesson is going to be, or the topic that we're going to be going into is, the Lord being a separatist. All right, because, something that I, not picked up, but, something I've observed, so I get part of my stammering lips. It's something that I observed amongst, these people out here, especially our people, they harping on that, we're all the, children of God, and, it's one human race. I don't see this. I don't see that, and basically they on that same, doctrine that Esau gave them, man, because it starts with the churches, right? The Lord, he for the whole world, God so loved the world, they like to misconstrue them, scriptures to fit their dogma, that the Lord is for everybody, when the scriptures tell you consistently that the Lord is only for one people, man. All right. Another thing that teaches this too, you don't even have to be, in the spiritual side of things. All right, even in the world, man, even in the academic schools, they teach you this. Like for example, they the one of the things that they push the most in the schools is the Constitution. And they like to, set that as a standard of the values that's believed here in Babylon, that all men are created equal, but really it's hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? Because when those words were written down on that piece of paper, all right, in that time period, so-called black people were in the plantations. All right, so-called Native Americans were being, genocided on. So-called Latinos too, being genocided on, marginalized, the lands and resources stripped from them. But they push that in the schools to, have the generations grow up thinking, oh yeah, we're all the same. We're all the same. And that's just something that the elites want us to, to think. That's just another weapon, a mental weapon that the elites want us to harp on, because really in the eyes of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, all people are not the same. All right, I'm gonna say that again. All people are not the same in the eyes of the Heavenly Father. Okay, and this is something that's written consistently with in the scriptures, man. All right, so let's start with the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 6. And it reads, "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai thy power." All right, so let's go into the word holy. Okay, now let this load up. There we go. All right, so the word for holy in the Hebrew is Quadash. All right, now it's a little different than what's spelt and pronunciated. I can't really put the pronunciator out, because the audio is muted, so I won't be able to hear it. So I won't be able to know exactly how they say Quadash in the blue letter. But the proper way of saying it is Quadash. All right, which I I have to repeat it again, but yeah, that's the proper way of saying it according to the Lashawan Quadash, which is the Paleo Hebrew. All right, and just for brothers that want to know, what I'm saying, how you get the right pronunciations. All right, just go on the internet. All right, and just type in Paleo Hebrew alphabet. All right, and you're gonna get it right there. All right, that's the Hebrew chart. All right, so we have, let me see, there's a couple good ones. All right, so yeah, there's this one right here. All right, this is a pretty good one. All right, you have it in the ancient Hebrew. That's the ancient alphabet. It's not the alphabet. That's the ancient characters. All right, and then you have the Aramaic or Assyrian Hebrew. All right, so like they go more like this. All right, this is how they look like. Now, when it comes to the the scriptures and the blue letter, which this is the characters that you'll most likely see. All right, it's this is all you got to do is just line up the characters to the spelling, not the spelling, the pronunciation of each character and you'll be able to, properly say the words. All right. So, just lesson within a lesson. Okay. So going back to the topic at hand. All right. The word holy goes back to the Hebrew. It means Quadash. Now, what does that mean? All right. Let's go into the first definition. Sacred, holy, holy one, saint, set apart. All right. Set apart, to be separated. Okay. And in context, when something is holy, it means it's set apart from the rest of its other things. In context, it basically means that it's set apart with higher value. All right. So we're more valuable than these other nations. All right. That's what it means to, be holy, to be consecrated, right? To set apart, but with higher value. Okay. So I'm going to read this again. Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua thy power. So in the eyes of our power, in the eyes of the Lord, we are set apart. We are a people set apart with higher value than the other people. All right. And the verse will expound on that. Okay. If you're a non-believer and you think what I'm saying is crazy, well, guess what? The verse is going to say it for me. All right. It says, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua thy power had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. All right. And that's what that is, man. That's one of the foundational things, when it comes to this truth, this knowledge, is understanding that we are above all these other people, man. All right. That we are above these other nations. We're not lumped into them like these elites, want Jake to believe, man. All right. Because that's something that's an agenda from the elites. All right. To have us, lumped in one category, because basically, what they want us to do is be, they want the whole world to be enslaved under them. They trying to, well, it's like, hold on, let me rewind and say it like this. They want everybody to have that mindset. All right. So they could, further be compatible with their new enterprise, that they're trying to come in. That they're trying to usher in, ultimately take the, be in the same category, when they take that device, the CHIP. All right. So it all works together, for his agendas on the left hand side. All right. But the right hand side is being raised up, man. All right. The elect is being raised up. Lord willing, we're off that number, and the truth is being declared. Okay. And the truth is that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has one people that he has chosen for himself, man. And he's not dealing with the rest of the world. Okay. If he was about, having everybody together and being a power for the whole world, he wouldn't have separated, the people and separated them off when they were trying to build the Tower of Babel, and we're going to go into that. All right. So let me see. Tower, or let me just look up Babel. All right. Let me see. Oh, right, because it's in the New Testament. There we go. All right, so it's in the book of Genesis chapter 11. All right. So let's go into Genesis chapter 11. All right, verse 1, and it reads, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. Okay, so this tells you, this is this was after the flood. All right, after, Noah, his sons, his three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, they, multiplied and they inhabited the earth after the flood, right? What happened? The whole earth was of one language and of one speech, so they were all basically as one in a sense. They all shared one language, they were more, together, if you will. All right, more united, I wouldn't say united, but, they're just, as one. All right, they shared the same, language. It said, it says one speech. All right, let's go into that word speech. All right, learn as we go. Let me see. All right, so let's go into the word speech, Salakia. I think it does. It just further means that it's one language. But let's just make sure. Right. So speech, word, speaking, thing. Business, occupation, acts, matter. right? Something, manner, by extension, so basically the earth, back then they were on one consent, if you will. All right, verse 2. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Right? So they wanted to be under one consent. They wanted to be in one government. Right? Let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad the whole earth. Let's basically all come together and have this new thing together. Right? So this is what the Lord did. Verse 5. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go, so I could go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So that's what he had happen. All right, he sent his angels down to confound them, basically, switched up the language amongst them. All right, so Yahweh Shem Yahushai scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel. All right, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai did, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahweh Shem Yahushai scatter them abroad from the upon the face of all the earth. All right. Now, if you're a person that grew up, believing, that all people are the same and we're all one and we should all be together, which Christianity supports this, right? You read a passage like this, you read this account, and this will bug you out. Now you got questions. Why, if the Lord wants everybody to be together, why did he separate them when they was trying to build the Tower of Babel? Because to a person in the world, this seems like a good idea. Hey, let's all come together. We set our capital right here, and we could be in one consent. We make ourselves a name, and, that way we don't be, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. None of that. We just be, together. No, the Lord went and confounded that. He did away with that. Why? Because he has a chosen people that he wants to raise up for himself. He has a people that he wants to be on top. And that's the children of Israel, man. All right. And that's what the scriptures say. All right. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15. All right. And it reads, Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance, meaning they're insignificant. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. Wait, hold on. I thought all people were equal, right? And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the breast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. The Lord, he doesn't mess with these other nations, man. These other nations are not worthy of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They're not worthy to burn for burnt offerings. It's like, basically it's parabolic. Like, I don't want them. Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. The Lord only deals with Israel, man. Verse 17, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. All right, because really these other nations were created to serve us. Okay, they're created to serve us. And that's why, the heathen have imagined a vain thing, because they don't want to serve us. They don't want to be under Israel, man. They don't want to be under righteousness. They want to, do their own thing and, raise up their own philosophies and idols, worship that, But that's why when the kingdom gets established, ain't gonna be no idolatry worldwide. These other nations, they're not going to be, worshiping their idols, man. All right, now they're not gonna have the perfect bodies, so they're gonna be going off. You're gonna have situations where they are trying to worship idols. But guess what? They're going to be judged. All right. Which that's another, topic in itself, about, concerning things in the kingdom, but in the kingdom, it's going to be an order, man. And we're going to be on top. All right. And that's what Yahweh Shem Shai wants, man. Okay. I'm going to read it again. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. So does this sound like the Lord is for everybody? The Lord is dealing with all the peoples on earth, the different nations? No. This sounds like he only has this sounds like he doesn't like the other nations in the world. All right. And when you factor in the precepts concerning Israel, it sounds like he has a favorite. Like I could give a quick example. Shoes, right? You have your beater shoes. You don't really value them that much. Then you have the other shoes. You got the flyer shoes that you really value. You bring those out on special occasions. Which one holds more value? The beaters or the other shoes, man? Right? So it's the same thing with this, except, dealing with people. Okay. So there's another precept. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the book of Second Esdras. Let me see if it's in Second Esdras chapter 6. If it's not in Second Esdras chapter 6, it's probably in First Esdras. No, it's like, yeah, it is Second Esdras chapter 6. All right. All right, so the book of Second Esdras chapter 6, verse, let me see, 54. And it reads, and after these, Adam, also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. Right? So of Adam came everybody. And also the people who the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai chose. All right, which, back before the flood, it was the Adamites. Then after the flood, it was the Shemites, certain lineages of them, on down to who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who Jacob later became known as Israel. And that's where you get the 12 tribes of Israel. And those are the chosen people that this is referring to. All right, the Hebrew Israelites. Verse 55, all this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because thou made the world for our sakes. The whole world. It's made for us, man. Right? And that includes these other people. And guess what? It's gonna tell you that. All right, verse 56. As for the other people which also came from Adam, which also come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, behold, these heathens, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. Right? So this is, Esdras, basically going to the Lord, man. And he quoted this, right? What did he say? As for the other people, verse 56, as for the other people which also come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing. He's quoting Isaiah chapter 40, man. All right. That's why it says, let me see. Well, yeah, that's basically says that in Isaiah chapter 40 and 15, the account that we just read. All right. Verse 58, but we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And that's basically, saying, here we are yet this day in our captivity. When is it going to be our time to rule? When are we going to possess an inheritance? Which that inheritance is coming, man. All right, the new heaven and the new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness is coming, and we're going to be on top. Okay, but just going through this lesson, just to further, what I'm saying, destroy that that stronghold, because that's what that is. They're mental strongholds that, these people, primarily our people, cleave onto, to try to fit in, and, they trim their ways to seek love in a sense, because really we supposed to be, what I'm saying, holy unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We supposed to know that, what I'm saying, but hey, the 2/3 ain't gonna know. They could keep on, what I'm saying, believing whatever they want to believe in, going into, harping on and cleaving onto whatever, philosophy and broken cistern they want to believe in, but this is just to put the vibration out there that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is not dealing with any other nation. All right. And a matter of fact, the scripture says that verbatim. He has not dealt. Let me see. He has not dealt so with any nation. All right. And that's the book of Psalms chapter 147, verse 20. All right. So let's grab that, and then we're going to close out. All right. So book of Psalms chapter 147, verse 19. All right. And this is verbatim. This is plain as stone. All right. Plain as stone. Plain as it is, man. Plain as day. All right. So it reads, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. It doesn't say the whole world. All right. Verse 20, he hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. So that's, plain as day, written in stone. He doesn't mess with these other nations. He's only dealing with Jacob. All right. So Lord willing, it's an edifying lesson. Going into the basics. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is only dealing with the children of Israel. He ain't dealing with the whole world. All right. And this is something that you see all over the scriptures, even in the New Testament. A good example is Revelations chapter 7, when it goes into the elect and how it's 12,000 out of each particular tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. And it names the tribes, 12,000 out of Judah, 12,000 out of Simeon, 12,000 out of Levi, and so on and so forth. It doesn't talk about no 12,000 out of Moab, 12,000 out of Edom. No, man. All right. Because because salvation is of the Jews, basically. Salvation is only for Israel, man. All right. So, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson, man. So with that, I'm going to say, call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rechah HaKodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. All right. With that, I'm going to say, shalom. On to the next.